Incredible. Incredible.
Hey guys, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. I hope you're having a great Sunday. Still getting used to the new camera setup. I'll be honest, it's a little bit weird. I'm not quite ready for it yet. I need to be able to move the monitors back. If you look in the top picture just up here, you'll see right in this corner, you can see part of my monitor. And just here, you can see another part of it as well, because the new monitors are a lot closer. So still feeling a little bit kind of off with the setup. Anarchy got first, so congratulations, Anarchy. Says, evening, Jay. Hope you had a good weekend. Yeah, I did, thanks. It's been nice. It's been steady away. Just been making coffee for tonight's stream, so that's good. And Eos is here as well. He says he made it. Congratulations. Perlin Merlin's here as well. She says, what's up with the cool kids? Wait, we have cool kids watching this? I don't know. Eos thinks he's cool now. Angios, sorry. Josh. I will get it right eventually. Here we go. Here's the hype train coming in, guys. I think I've missed a couple of subs, so we'll catch up on those in a few seconds. Storsma says good evening. Oxy says good evening as well. Hey guys, thank you very much for being here. And I'm going to grab some coffee since I've been up since 3 p.m. yesterday my time. My gosh, dude, get some sleep, man. Go to sleep. Voidman Jerhees as well says thank you for calling me a kid too kind. I know that feeling. I'm almost 40, so getting there. Storsma as well. Good evening, man. Good to see you. Snicket. J Saints. Hey, man. Good to see you, my dude. Nice of you to drop in. Cordos says, what watch am I wearing? Today I have on, easier if I do this, it's a Amiga Swatch, one of the Moon's watches. If camera decides to focus, there you go. That's what I'm wearing today. It's quite a pretty watch. So there we go. Itchy Bin Timothy says, evening, Mr. Beans. Okay, now I know who you are. Subscribe Performance, thank you so much for the subscription. This is how I never know who's watching, like, from streamer names, like Twitch names. They're very different to Discord names or real life names, but as soon as he said that, like, I knew instantly who he was. Like, that just opened it right off me. Demotex, hi man, good to see you. Jay Saints, thank you so much for the 3 months of subs, man. I appreciate that. Time for a J Dram, 17 months. Thank you very much. Storesness as well for the subs. I like how Jay alternates between Josh and Neos and Angios now. I just never know what to... I'm just going to call you Josh forevermore because it's just easier. Josh forevermore. Easier. You have relatively perfect attendance for streams. You do, yeah. Cohen, hey man, good to see you. Did you get the Keycaps coin I sent you? I hope so. I hope so. Loving that hoodie. Thanks, man. This is from a company called 10 Tree Ballboy. So I use them quite extensively for all my workshop clothing. Basically, anything that I wear in the workshop is generally made by 10 Tree, and that's because they plant, as the name suggests, 10 trees for every item of clothing you buy. So pretty much all of the t-shirts that I wear, the hats, the jumpers, sometimes even the trousers I wear and stuff like that, all comes from them. And here at the workshop, I only wear shoes from a company called Tropic Feel, who make shoes that are from recycled pop bottles and all sorts of things like that. So yeah, I'm all for being 100% self-sustaining where I can be. Like PT is completely carbon neutral as a company. Like we are completely carbon neutral. We offset for 5 years every product that we ship out to customers. So if you buy some plastic keycaps from us or a keyboard or anything else that's been manufactured, we've already offset that carbon for 5 years and under an assumed lifespan of 5 years. And that includes manufacturing and for like the moment you get it. So everything up to the moment we ship it to you plus 5 years from that point. And that's what we do. So the aim is to be as carbon neutral as possible. All of our packaging is recycled and recyclable. We use brown tape that has not been bleached and is made from recycled materials as well. So we did used to have white tape, but once I learned that it was bleached and it was the type of bleach we're using was quite bad for the environment, we changed that, and now we use non-bleached tape, just as a matter of course. Like little simple things that we do. We try to add no plastic to packaging as well, so we only use recycled brown paper for stuffing boxes with, and the only time we ever add plastic is when we're counting out switches and we put them in a little Ziploc bag, but even then we use ones that we know where they've been produced so that we can offset the carbon for them. So we try and be as carbon neutral as possible, and we invest in a lot of self-sustaining stuff as well. So yeah. Right, okay, let's catch up with chat again. Cohen says nice latte art. Thank you. It's all right, I suppose. It could have gone better if I can get it under the camera. There you go. It was in a little bit of a rush, but hey, it works. It's quite late, so yeah, do what I can with the latte art. It's never great. I should really change my Twitch name, but it's more fun you working it out. Like, the interesting thing with Twitch names and people's user handles online is that they change from one platform to another, and I'm suspect to this as well. I do exactly the same thing. So trying to work out who someone is, like you'll be chatting with someone and you're like, oh yes, I know who this is on Discord. Yeah, I know who that is. And then you will see them on Twitch and it'll be a different username. You'll start chatting and think, oh, this guy's really cool. Yeah, I like this guy. This guy's cool. And then you realize like 6 months later, oh, they're the same person, because they'll just reference something. You had no idea it was the same person you've been talking to in 2 separate locations. It happens all the time. So yeah. Olas, hey man, good to see you. Thank you very much for being here. Incredible to hear carbon neutral. Yeah, it's one of the first things we did when we set up PT. I don't talk about it much because it's like I feel like it's something we should just do, not necessarily promote. But within 6 months of PT running, we were carbon neutral. It was one of the first things I do. All of our electricity and everything else is completely carbon offset, which is why we don't run the laser 24/7, because it costs a lot of money to offset it, especially with the energy prices as they are right now. So yeah, it's just something that we do and include it in the price. Jenga, thank you so much for being here, man. I appreciate that. You're back with coffee. What did you miss? Absolutely nothing, man. We're just good and ready to roll. So a few things to talk about today as well. I've had like 10 or 12 dings today on various social media and different pings and stuff and DMs and stuff about the JRIS or the JRIS, or however you want to pronounce it, the JRIS 65, which goes into buy on Tuesday, into group buy. If I stop stumbling over my words, goes into group buy on Tuesday. We are going to be putting it live at 5 PM UK time, I think. We'll confirm that tomorrow morning through announcements. I haven't decided on pricing yet, and the reason I haven't decided on pricing yet is because I need to see how the pound and the euro adapt after the weekend in the live markets on Monday morning, because let's just say last week was not good for the GBP. It wasn't good for the Canadian dollar or the euro either, but it was not good for the pound. And when the pound drops against the dollar, because all of our manufacturing bills are paid in US dollars to the manufacturers in China, I need to make sure that I'm taking the closest exchange rate that I can from making the prices up to paying the bill. And I'm a little bit worried that if I set the price at the exchange rate as it is right now, things are going to change. So I haven't decided on the pricing just yet, and I just want to be completely clear about that. Like, I just do not know what the exchange rates are going to do, so I don't know how to price the product right now. That's the thing. That's the issue I have. Because if I price it how the exchange rates are right now, and then the exchange rate drops even further, I'm going to get a bill that's 10, 12, 15% more expensive than what I'm planning on it being. So it's going to take a little bit of swings and roundabouts and a little bit of guesswork. There are some group buys live now that on Monday the price is going to go up, and that's because of the way the exchange rates have been hit. So for example, the good example of this is a Zoom 65 round 2, the Essential Edition. We priced that based on the exchange rate 10 days ago, or something like that. I can't remember the exact date, but something like 10 days ago. The exchange rate is now tumbled since then, and we've lost about 8% per board, which is more than the profit margin, because the profit margin's not 8%. So the price is going to have to go up on Monday. So if you, that's a warning. If you've been looking at getting a Zoom 65 R2, maybe take a look at the buying one this afternoon, because if you don't, the price is going to go up first thing Monday morning, because I just can't afford to sell them at the price where when we get the bill, we're going to make a loss. And the chances are that the pound's going to continue to drop a little bit further. So if it does, I lose even more money on this particular group buy. So with the JRIS or the JRIS, or however you want to pronounce it, the JRIS 65, I haven't set pricing yet, but it is going to go live on Tuesday afternoon, either 4 or 5 p.m. Haven't decided yet. It depends on how work goes, but I'll announce that tomorrow. So yeah, there will be 50 units available for PT. And watch out for the Discord ping, because that's where I'll contain all of the information. Pricing probably won't be available until the product goes live, though. Just bear that in mind. Purely because I need to leave it to the last possible second to set the pricing based on how the exchange rates are. So there we go. Right, anyway, just wanted to give you guys that update. Jenga, thank you so much for the 2 months of subs, currently on a 1 month streak. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Iris. JRIS, Iris, we can call it the Iris, whatever. Storzan says, we'll get my CF ISO plates next week for my bias. Nice. Is are those ready to ship now? Because I'm waiting for the bias R2, I think. I didn't realize they were shipping already. If you have a spare one, Storzan, let me know. I'll buy one off you. After today, you might want to wait a bit longer still. Yeah, I'm leaving it till the last possible second, ball boy. Last possible second. Crazy quarting, etc. I heard. Yeah, so the policies that the UK government's brought out haven't helped, and it was the wrong decision at the wrong time for the right reasons. So they're trying to do the right thing for some people, I think, and they're inadvertently benefiting a lot of other people that probably don't need the help, but they're hurting a lot of other industry as well. So I suspect there's going to be some changes this week, and I think the Bank of England is probably going to step in and make some changes with the Bank of England base rate to try and alleviate this. So just watch this space is basically where we're at. I'm not sure how I feel about the pound dipping. I get paid in euros, so it helps me. Well, the euro's dipping as well, so the euro's dipping against the dollar as well, and the pound and the euro pretty much falling down against the dollar at the same rate. I think it's 15 and 18% or something when I looked at the numbers, so it's pretty much the same thing. Iris, because the J looks like a stylized I. Let's go with that, that's fine. I have Turkish lira sat on my desk. It's wild. I'm looking at it now thinking maybe I'll hold out. Hey man, nothing's crazy at the minute. It's not, you know, it is what it is. That's a very charitable interpretation, says Oxy. I'm trying not to say anything on stream that could be construed as overly political. Let's just put it that way. I have a lot of personal thoughts that I probably shouldn't air in public. But yeah, let's go with that. The announcement saved me 2.5k on the house purchase, so I'll not look a gift towards some math. Yeah, I think there's some. I think like there's a lot of edge cases and things like that, like stamp duty changes and stuff like that. I think there are benefits for some people. I think there's benefits for some people at the lower end of the economy where they need more help, but those are inadvertently helping, or maybe it's not inadvertently, I don't know, helping those at the other end of the economy as well in a more significant manner, and I don't think that's right. But I do think there's going to be a lot of stuff happening. So yeah, we'll see. I think it was about 3% when I last left Simba, but it could be that way. It could be that way. Yeah, it's an interesting times. Coffee check. We're using the same coffee we had last week. I think I've got rid of the box though. It's literally the last cup of coffee from the coffee we had last week. I don't have the box to hand. You can look back on last week's stream and see what it was. Sorry, I don't have the box anymore. But it also says Tim. Yeah, maybe. I think that makes sense. Or Irish tap tap preserves a silent, maybe. Nothing's arrived yet, but I'm sure. Well, yeah. Mel sent it to the address you gave me anyway, Karen. So it should be with you soon. I'm sure it will be. I'm pretty sure it went by DHL, so it should be there already. It should be, I think. Will prototypists accept gold as a form of payment? No. I say that with like bated breath because, like, maybe I'll have to start considering these things. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Like, I don't mind exchange rates changing, whether it be negative or positive, as long as it's like understandable why it's changed and I can plan for that. Or if things are steady, I don't care whether the pound's higher or low, particularly than the dollar, as long as I know before I start selling a product how that's going to be. It's not supposed to be a politics discussion, no. I was just explaining why I haven't priced the JRIS yet, Skimson. So I haven't priced it yet because the exchange rates are going loopy, and I don't want to price it because I'm going to have to pay the bill in US dollars until the last second because the exchange rates are so loopy. North Berwick, it is, yes, yeah, that's right. The coffee is from North Berwick, yeah. North Berwick, that's where it's from. You remember the coffee? There you go. Yeah, it was from North Berwick. Yeah, I'd forgotten that, but you're right. It was from Berwick. Because we were talking about Berwick upon Tweed as well a little bit. I remember that too. Yeah, interesting. Okay. Right, at least keyboards are silly and fun, so that's all good. Yeah, until it's your job, right? Until it's your job, and then it becomes serious, and that's not always good. And I've just realised that my 3D printer has stopped. Oh, I can see why it stopped. It stopped because it's just there and it's out of filament. Okay, we'll fix it after the stream. Right, okay, so yeah, so that's that. That's the JRIS or the Iris or whatever you want to call the board. In terms of other stuff that's happening this next week, GMK Civilizations and GMK Birch, which I actually have today as one of the options for key sets for you to pick from. They'll be going in stock on Tuesday at 6 p.m. So they'll be in stock, ready for you to buy it Tuesday at 6 p.m. That will include the desk mats, it will include the Rama caps, it will include the key set, it will include all kits to the key set. If there's anything else that we sold accompanied with it, we will have extras in stock on Tuesday of both GMK Civilizations and GMK Birch. So watch out for those guys, because I think that we've had more DMs about Civilizations than any other set recently. So I think it's in quite high demand. So make sure you're looking out for that if you're interested. Again, I haven't set pricing yet because of exchange rates and everything else. So I just need to work out where that sits. But yeah, we'll be putting those live on Tuesday at 6 p.m. So they'll be staggered after the launch of the JRIS. So there we go. Jason's, my keyboard collection is increasing quite quickly. What should be my cap on my collection? Whatever you're comfortable with, +1. So you want your whatever you're comfortable with as a number. So let's say that's 10, then add one more and you're good. That's where it should be. If your number's 5, you add one more and it's 6. That's great. If your number's 100 and you add one more, it's 101. Perfect. But whatever number you think is the right number, add 1 to it and leave it at that. So yeah, there we go. If I had bought the XOX70 when Shopify listed it for £409 before you adjusted it, would you have cancelled the order? We haven't adjusted the pricing for the XOX70 yet, I don't think. In fact, I will have a look now and I will tell you. I'm pretty sure we have not adjusted the pricing for... that's the wrong website. Sorry, I've gone into a different website there. I'm 99% sure... not the number you have now +1, the number you think you should have +1. I'm 99% sure that we have not adjusted the prices of the XOX70. It may be that your exchange rate is coming out different. I'm just looking now. We have not adjusted the pricing of the XOX70. The pricing of the XOX70 has stayed the same, and it will be adjusted on Monday with the Zoom 65. So there you go. If you're going to buy one, now's the time, basically, because we will be changing the prices to accommodate the exchange rate drop. So yeah. Joe CC, hey man, thank you very much for joining the stream. I'm having a great day. Thank you very much for being here. Right, let's see where we're catching up. So Skimson said, I remember you selling coffee in the future. Is it still in plan? Yeah, I actually have a meeting on it, not this week coming, but the next week. So it shouldn't be too far away from when we do it. Trojam, hey man, good to see you. The pre-order is still up for Birch, as far as I know. Oh, is it? Let me cancel that right now. Birch pre-order should have been closed on Friday when we got the group buy shipped out. Let me check. Let me check. Oh, it is. You're right. Sorry, anyone who's trying to check out with that. That should have been cancelled on Friday. Right. Thank you very much for pointing that out. The Birch pre-order is cancelled. There we go. Thank you. How about EBBT origami as an option for a build today? If those arrived, it has arrived. It's in the workshop. It's going to ship this week. I think we got 4 or 5 of the sets out on Friday before we had to close up for the day for DHL coming. But it's all going to ship out this week. I haven't got it here, but I could add it to the list if you guys really want to see EBBT origami. I could add it to the list. We could definitely do that. Just remind me when it comes to picking key sets, and I'll add it to the list. Will all group guys getting price adjusted? Anything that I'm going to have to pay the bill in USD, yes, because the rate has just dropped that much that where I priced stuff at, if I continue to sell it at that price, I'm going to make a loss, and I can't afford to run the group buys at a loss all the time. Like if it was just 1 or 2 orders, okay, fine. If it's like 10, 15, 100 orders, then I need to start, starting to look at that. Just being completely open, like it's a thing we have to do. I can't set pricing and then not adjust the pricing if there's something detrimental that happens to the exchange rates, which is kind of what's happened. So yeah, anything that I'm going to have to buy in US dollars. Let me look at the live group buys. I'll tell you what's going to change tomorrow. Let me have a look. I'll give you guys an exact list of what's going to change tomorrow. So oh, weird. The Promise 87 extras shouldn't be on there, but they are. I'm not sure why. DCS White and Black Alps, that is going to change. XOX70, that's going to change. GMK Lilac on Black won't. Kikobo Beige on Dolce, that won't either. The Space Pause Decimat won't either, because they're just decimats, and it's not enough to, like, the percentage isn't enough to affect them. The Loki 65 will need to be adjusted. The Zoom Caps won't, but the Zoom 65 will. And MW Pavilion will be adjusted as well. So there you go.
Tasty, tasty.
That's who it is. Joe, happy Prototype's birthday. Congratulations, man. Thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate that. So yeah, there we go, Thorium. Pretty much all of the group buys we've got live now will be getting adjusted, yeah. Some of them won't, but most of them will. I really wanted to get a Zoom 65, but I don't think that would be financially responsible. I can appreciate it, man. I can understand that. Only 10 months ago to catch up with Joe. Dev Panda, you'll get there eventually. Thank you very much for the sub as well. Damn, I could have bought it earlier. Yeah, you shot yourself in the foot, Trojan. Been waiting for GMK Birch and Civilizations. Yeah, both will be in stock on Tuesday night, so you'll be able to pick those up. So you were mostly caught up with your emails. Hope that wasn't so bad. I think I've still got about 50 left to go, but DMs is where I made a lot of progress. So I went through DMs.
Incredible.
So middle of the week, I was at about 2,000 DMs on Discord trying to just get through them because there's a couple of hundred a day coming in. And over the weekend, I've got that down to about 50 or 60, I think. In fact, let me have a look and tell you. Discord client on the PC doesn't actually tell me, but it will on my phone. 47. I've got it down to 47 right now. So yeah, the last 47 should get answered tomorrow, as will the 50 or so emails I've got to do. So I'm pretty much there. Origami, woohoo. Yeah, Origami is going to be shipping this week. A few orders did go out last week, but the majority are going to be this week. In the future, would it be worth holding US dollars when group buys start? We do to an extent, and we do have some holdings in US dollars, but like you were always going to get caught short by this because we need to have the vast majority in GBP purely because of VAT and tax concerns. Like we have to pay VAT bills constantly every 3 months, so we have to have the cash in GBP to be able to do that. Shopify will only pay us out in GBP, so we have to manually make transactions into US dollars and hold 2 different balances, and that becomes a real accounting nightmare. So it adds to accountancy costs, it adds to banking costs, it adds to all sorts of different things. It becomes a little bit of a logistical nightmare, and then when you're trying to change funds back or left and right, it can also mess things up a little bit. So whilst we do that to some extent, we can't hold, like hundreds of thousands of pounds in US dollars because it just wouldn't work. Yeah. Oh, when's that, Jay? Sorry, Jay. Was tempted to get a Lucky 65. Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. That's when I'm going to update number prices. So if you're looking to buy stuff and you want to keep it cheaper, like I should tell you to wait till tomorrow and pay the rate price. But yeah, if you're going to buy it and you want the cheaper price, like today's the time to do it. Yeah. DMs, Jay, anything that would be good for me? I don't know. I not that I've seen yet. Tempted but want to try for a moment. However, already bought a Virgo this week. Yeah, we use a Virgo out in the workshop. It's a great board. Can you just not let people DM you, Jay, and force people to email you? The issue is a lot of the DMs are conversations between myself, other vendors, and designers. So there's a lot of stuff that happens on Discord that doesn't happen in email and couldn't work in an email because a lot of the conversations are dynamic and we need something like that. So it's not possible. Like, I don't let people DM me for support emails and things like that. Like, I just can't, for data protection more than anything else. Like, I can't validate you are who you tell me you are over a Discord DM very easily. So it's much easier if you email me from the email address that's registered to your account, and I can refer that back to your order number. So for data protection, I have to have emails anyway. But yeah, like there's a lot of DMs that I don't reply to where it's just someone asking for an update on an order and they get an automated copy and pasted response that says, please don't DM me, please email me. So because I wouldn't be able to answer all of those. DMs is one of the ways that some designers want to work with Jay and reach out community. There you go. Yeah, it's exactly it. DMs is friends only. It is set to friends only, I think. Thought about using something like Slack just to keep stuff separate. We use Slack with some vendors and designers. We use Notion with some vendors and some designers. We use Basecamp with some vendors and designers. We use Jira with some vendors and designers. We use a ton of different systems, and different group buys are in different systems. There is no single standard, but Discord is the most prominent one in terms of how people work together and collaborate on projects. Discord is by far the most popular, but we do work with all of the other ones as well. Here internally, we use Notion for pretty much everything, and we're trying to ramp up what we use Notion for. So yeah. Yep, it is. It's a lot of tools. Yeah, trying to remember how to use them as well. Like the vernacular for tools as well can be quite different. Like how you create a new ticket or item or upload images or whatever, or tag things. It can be different from one system to another. And how you download stuff and how you pull information out can be very different as well. Okay, so you're speaking to an ex-PM. Jira's good. Like, I've tried most of the tools out there on the market. And whilst Jira can be painful to use, if it's set up in the right way and the company administers it correctly and they have the right DevOps team behind it, Jira can be good. Jira can be good, especially if you use something like Confluence in the back end and stuff like that, and you tie it all together nicely, and it's used properly and in the right way, and everyone using it to the same standard. It can be quite good. I will say that. I have seen it used badly. I appreciate that a lot of places do use it badly.
Incredible.
But if you get it right, it can be really, really good. And if it's not working right, you need to sit down with your DevOps team and have a chat with them. That's what I would say. Anyway, yeah. Paladin, thank you so much. The coffee's great. It's a coffee roast from North Berwick. I can't remember the roaster's name, but it was on stream last week as well. Right, okay, so we talked about everything that I wanted to talk about, gave you the latest PT news, gave you the latest updates on pricing and the group buys that are going to change next week, gave you the latest update on stuff that's going to be in stock from Tuesday, gave you the latest JRIS, IRIS, whatever we're calling it, 65, starting on Tuesday as well. There's a couple of other group buys going to go live this week too, and I'll drop announcements in the announcements channel on the Discord server when they go live as well, so watch out for those. Right. With all that done, it's probably now time to flip over to the other camera, and the first thing I want to do is show you the Dolice, because that came in this week. So we got the Dolice in this week. I'd forgotten what color I'd ordered. I actually thought I'd ordered the pink one. I was a little bit disappointed when I opened it and it wasn't pink, but I know why I've got what I've got now. So the first thing is it came with a desk mat, which is pretty cool. I'd forgotten it got this. It has a Project Dolice desk mat, and it's got like a little 8-bit design of the desk mat and all sorts of other things, which is pretty cool. Instantly from that label, I knew who the manufacturer was, but it's pretty cool. So we do have a desk mat. So when we build the Dolice next week, we'll use the Dolice desk mat for it. We do have the little brass TGR by Linworks little arm that goes inside the board. I'll show you what that's for later on. There's a reason why it's got a cavity in the back like that. There's a reason why that cavity's there. We have a brass plate. So here you go, you can see the layout of the Dolice. It is ANSI only. We have a spare PCB. And we have another spare PCB. And then here we have the case itself for the Dolice. This is how the Dolice comes in this lovely hard carry case. It does have the KLC zips. And then as we open the case up, you see we've got a few different things in the back here. We've got JST cables, daughter boards, feet, and a few of the bits and pieces, stickers as well. We've also got this, which is kind of cool. So this is the Hobbyist Playground by KLC. This is the authentication card, which is pretty nice. And then there you go. It is the Dolice colorway of Dolice, TGR Linworks. So there we go. Which is pretty cool. Our Confluence this year is out of date. Yeah, Confluence is one of those things that needs to be updated quite often. Alex, hey man, good to see you. Thank you very much for being here. I'm always disappointed when I open something and it's not pink. Like, I genuinely thought I'd ordered a pink Dolice. I don't know why, because now I've realized what I've ordered. I remember ordering it, and yeah, it is what it is. You were quick on the email. Thanks for helping a newbie. Looking forward to the link 65. Thanks, man. I have no idea who you are, but I'm glad that you were happy with my response to your email. Can you also not ship out with stuff out with such nice tape? I feel bad when I have to cut it open. If you pay us, we can put it in plain tape. We've had a few people ask for it to go in plain tape. So yeah, if you put a tip on and ask for it to be put in plain tape in the notes, we'll do that for you. There we go. That's the third un-ISO build in a row you do on stream. We Europeans have to be strong and grip onto something firm for all these un-ISO builds. Yeah, I can't remember, does the Em8 support ISO? I don't think it does it? It's going to be 3 on the row that doesn't support it. You're right. Yeah. Oh well. It is what it is. Okay. This is the Dolice in here. I can't remember how we need to get this out. Oh, there we go. Oh, it doesn't want to come out. Let's just try giving it a tug. There we go. So this is the Dolice colorway, remember? It's not pink. I was a little bit disappointed, but it's actually really, really nice. So if you know what Dolice is, it's one of the OG color cap combinations. And this actually comes out really nice. So there you go. This is the Dolice. Okay, so there you go. You can see that bar in the back that I already told you about before, where it says TGR by Linworks. That's actually for the JST cable to hide it through this little glass screen, which is pretty cool, right? Like, there's a little glass screen in there, and then you have the little bar to tuck the cable into, and then they've used that bar as like a display piece. It's pretty cool. So yeah, there we go. This is the TGR Dolice. I love these sides. USB port. And this is kind of like a sandy beige color. I think it's looking a little bit silver on the camera, but it is like a beigey color. It's really nice. It's really nice. So there we go. That is the Dolice. We will be building that next week on the stream. Yeah. We'll see how it goes. I haven't actually seen anyone build their Dolice yet. I've seen some completed builds, but I haven't had a chance to watch any of the streams yet. So I might have to do that before I build this. Tasty. Thank you so much, Blackbrook, for the 4 months of subs. Currently on a 4-month streak. Is that a Friends and Family color Dolice combo? It is, yeah. So it was for the Friends and Family edition. I know some guys over at KLC quite well, and they were kind enough to invite me to the F&F edition. So yeah. Okay, so that's the first thing I wanted to show you. The second thing I wanted to show you is something cool we got from Willem over at Keycaps this week. So some of you might have seen this on Instagram, but this is the awesome little box that Willem sent me. I'm just going to do these two
Tasty.
screws. Gregory, thank you so much for the 3 months of subs. I appreciate that, man. Poggers. So there we go. Let's catch up with chat before we show you these. I would love to see the world in pink. The world's plenty pink, right? There's plenty of pink boards and stuff out there. Currently lying in bed feeling unwell, hoping I can relax SMJ tonight. We'll keep it relaxing. We'll keep it relaxing. True Blaze, hey man, good to see you, dude. Yeah, these look amazing. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen my Insta story from last week, the Willem who runs Keycaps and makes the wonderful Keycaps boards that he machines in-house himself, he made these for me in here. Now, some people already know what these are, but these are his Keycaps, but with the PT logo on. And he's done a few of these for me. And then he made this lovely milled birch box as well. So these are the Keycaps. Now, these have got the PT logo on. Now, these are really special to me because these are all handmade. Each one of these is handmade. It's true double shot, and he makes them himself, mills them himself in his garage. It's his own sculpt, which he's designed, which is the Keycaps sculpt. They are true double shot, and these are the first ones he's done with an MX stem. So not only are these Keycaps with the PT logo in the Keycaps sculpt, made by hand by Willem himself, but they are MX mount as well, which is cool as hell. So these are some of the first MX mount ones that he's had out there in the public, and I'm super stoked to have these on hand. These are super nice. They're a little bit dusty, but they're super nice. The legends are super crisp, and these are really consistent as well. Like, the legends are super, for something that's handmade like an artisan, these are super consistent. They're just so nice, black and white. And he made me all of these. Like, he actually sent me more than I paid for as well. Like, I think I ordered 10, and then, well, I've ended up with way more than 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've ended up with 21. So there we go. Now these are going to be in stock. We are going to sell these. Twitch subscribers are going to get first dibs on them in the Twitch subscriber channel on my Discord server. They're not going to be cheap. I'll be honest with you, they're not. I wish they could be cheaper. But Willem does make these by hand. These are fully hand sculpted. These are very limited edition. There's not going to be any more of these made, I don't think, unless there's super serious demand for them. They're going to be really expensive. I'm sorry about that in advance. But if anyone would like one, they will go on sale to Twitch subscribers first, and then whatever's left over after the Twitch subscribers have had them, we'll put them on the website. When you buy one, you will get a GMK PT keycap as well. So you will buy this, and you'll get a free GMK PT keycap as well, which is the white and green ones. I think these are going to be £25 shipped to the UK. So yeah, £25 shipped to the UK. That's where I think they're going to be. We'll put them down as free shipping on the website, 25 quid, and you'll get a free GMK PT keycap as well. The reason they're expensive is because they're handmade, and Willem can only make like 3 full key sets a month. That's all he can make. So if you work how many keys is in a key set, like a TKL is like 90 keys at most in there, and he can only make 3 of those a month. That's why it's taken like a long time for me to get these in. So yeah. These are super thick double shot. Yeah, like these are really thick. Like, let me show you a GMK keycap next to these. Like, people say that GMK keycaps are lovely and thick, and sure, they are. But look how the difference in thickness is there between these GMK keycaps and these keycaps. Look at the difference. These are super duper thick. And they're not hollow at all, they're solid as well, with MX stems. So there we go. So they're not going to be cheap. The box is CNC'd as well, yeah. I mean, it's not done to like any super high quality. It's not like done perfectly, but he has milled out the box for me to put these in as well. Like he sent me this box with all of the inserts just to hold them nice and neat and tidy in shipping. It's very, very nicely done. It's a lovely little bit of packaging. So yeah, so there we go. So these will be on sale. I'll put an announcement up tomorrow in the Twitch chat channel, and you'll be able to pick one up. Yeah, I wish I could get the price low, guys, but I can't. Like, that's just where it's going to have to be. It's not SA profile, no Voidmate. It's actually his own profile, which is designed for the Keymax boards. Whilst they're traditionally Alps, these are the first MX keycaps he did, and I sent him some switches and some stabs and stuff so he could get used to doing the MX mount, and that's why he let me purchase these off him first, I think. So yeah, there's not many of them. That's all there is. That's literally all there is. And I want a number of these for myself, so I'm going to take 3 or 4 for myself. And then the rest are going to be available for sale. £25 is fair. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. That's better than I expected. Sold. Okay, we'll get these for Twitch subs soon. I thought there'd be more. Oh, right. Okay, well, now they're £30, guys. Now 3 of you said that in the chat. Now they're £30. No, 25 quid including shipping, yeah. Yeah, a TKL set would be over €1,000, I think. Yeah, so speaking to Willem, he is going to do full MX keycap sets. I am going to buy one off of him, but I think it's going to be about €1,000 for a TKL set. Yeah, he's not doing ISO just yet, but he will be doing it soon. Yeah, thick. 25 quid for an artisan keycap seems fair, or a little cheap. Would go well with SA810. Yeah, SA810 has just finished production and it's just about to ship over to me. I haven't updated Notion yet because it's the weekend, but I'll update Notion soon. Okay. Oh wait, what? Timothy, I hope you're okay. You're just terrible, but you're alive and here you are, so you can't moan. I hope you're okay, man. I hope you're okay. Jay's selling these so well, I have to buy them now. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Which profile does it match most? It's probably closest to SA. Like, that is the closest thing it's close to. Or something like MT3. But it's very much Keymax unique sculpt. Was expecting the prices to be closer to artisan sculpts. Like, I think that it's a fair price. Like, I'm not putting a massive margin on these. And it did cost me a fair few quid to get them made. So, and Willem puts amazing work in. So, yeah. Like, you can see there's minute differences between all of them, like really, really, really tiny little differences, but they're all really cool and they're really, really nice and super consistent for something handmade. ISO in that profile will be amazing. Yeah, I think he does want to work on ISO, but it's going to be a while away. But yeah. I think a TKL set is €1,000. Wonder how much a 6065 set will be. I think it's going to be about €800-900. It's not going to be cheap. These are going to be super artisan key sets for super picky people, and they're going to be handmade, and they're going to have slight inconsistencies, but I have to tell you, they are some of the nicest keycaps I've ever used. I revere both of the Keymax I own. I have a Brown Alps one and a Salmon Alps build, and they are 2 of the nicest keycap sets I've ever had. Like, they're just so lovely to use, and the fact that I now have PT ones in an MX mount, it just makes me really happy. So, yeah. I have one of your white PT keycaps, but always wanted a black one. Yeah, the white with green legend ones, they're GMK ones, yeah. We're cool if you could have them numbered 1 to 25 or whatever, and then you know which one you have. I could probably do that. I could probably number the white bit on the inside. If we get like a little fine, where's the camera? If we get a little fine marker, I can probably number them for you. Yeah, I can probably do something like that. Vintage Kish, hey man, thank you so much for the subs. 7 months of subs, really appreciate that. Good evening to you. Jay's selling a Keymax as well, so now I have to buy that too. Jay's good at marketing. Like, I love both of the Keymax, but I don't need 2 Keymax. I don't. Like, I just don't. I can't justify having 2 of them because they're so expensive. But they are so good at the same time. This is a guy that makes the whole thing in his garage. He mills the aluminium case. He makes the keycaps. He makes the stab holders himself. Like, these have got cool little stab holders and his own wires and everything else. And he actually mills and 3D prints and makes everything. Like, it's so cool. Like, he designed the PCB himself and had it all manufactured and things. But everything else is made in-house. It's crazy. It's crazy. Numbered would be cool. Yeah, I might number them. We'll see. We'll see. Right, okay, so that's the second thing I wanted to show you because these are super cool and I'm super happy to have them. I hope Willem's watching, and if he is, thank you very much, Willem. I really, really appreciate it. I hope if I got this on the right way. There we go. Just going to put these back in the box and screw the lid down by hand so I know that they're not going anywhere. There we go. Okay, so that's the two things I wanted to show you. I guess now it's time to do the Em8 build. So let's crack on with the Em8 build. Okay, just gonna move some key sets to one side because we don't need the key sets just yet. Okay, so for those that you remember last week, the Em8 does come in 2 boxes. I've seen that. Oh, this is the other parts box. We don't actually need this just yet. What we will do is we'll check this in here and see if we do need anything for that. But this is where that's just the wrist rest. That is just the wrist rest on its own, and it's a chunker. We'll take all the little bits out just in case we need them. Okay. So we will need the PCB. Oh man, what have we got here? Oh, these are the carbon fiber inserts for on top of there as well. So we don't need those just yet. We'll do the wrist rest at the end. We'll keep all the bits here for the wrist rest, and I think there's the weight as well there. Yeah, so that's the weight. Now I have seen KLC's updates on the weights. Now my weight does have a few issues. It has some brushing marks to it that you can see in the light there. If I get it just right, you can see some light hairline scratches running all through it. So I have seen their updates on this, so I'm interested to see how that pans out. I'm waiting for the form to come out. I'm just going to pop this back in there for now, and then we'll put it on the board when we're ready for it. Make sure you don't overload your desk. Yeah. Don't forget to collect your javelins. Oh man. Oh man. And my arrows as well, yeah. I need to remember that. That box is so heavy. Okay, and then we have the second box, which contains the actual board itself. So again, another huge box. This thing might be one of the heaviest standard keyboards I've ever seen. Like, this thing just is a chunk. Like, it is so heavy. Like, this is just so heavy. I'll get the scales out and we'll weigh it towards the end of the build stream. But it's just so chunky. It's going to feel nice to type on though. I'm pretty excited to try it out. Right, so we've got the PCB. We know we have the PCB. The plate is here, or the plates are there, with some foam as well. So we do need to make sure that's all tacked in correctly. We do have the nice little KLC Hobbyists Playground card with the Em8, the brand, and all of the stuff on the back as well, which is pretty cool. So that's the authentication card. We have middle dampener. Oh, these are switch films. I don't think we're going to use those for this particular build, but it does come with some nice little switch films, which is pretty cool. In fact, it comes with 2 packs. Oh, interesting. That's really interesting. We have upper and lower dampeners. So this is a dampener for the middle, so it connects to the top housing. This is a dampener for the lower parts, it connects to the bottom housing. And they're actually 3D in shape. These are actually injection molded and in 3D shape. These are cool. This is a really cool idea. Like, these will only go in one place in one way round. And they're almost like little mini gaskets in a way. Look, can you see that they're 3D? They're not just flat sheets. That's pretty cool. That's really cool, in fact. I like that. I definitely want to try those out, but not today. Okay, let's see what we have in here. Double switch films, yeah. The gaskets for switches, pretty cool. That's exactly what they are. Okay, so we have magnets that are screwable. Interesting. I'd forgotten that this used magnets. And we have a ton of screws. And then we have some screws for the daughter board. And then we have what looks like some spare case screws. Oh, they're weight bolts, it says on the package. That's nice how it's all labelled. There we go, daughter board bolts, there we go. And neodymium bolts. These are the bolts that hold the magnets in place. Okay. And then in the final bag, I imagine they're insanely fiddly. I would imagine they're very fiddly, yeah. In the final bag, okay. One thing I am noticing is we don't seem to have a daughter board separate. We have two cables in here. One is the daughter board cable, and then which is the long thin one. And the purple one is the one that connects the two PCBs together from one half to the other. So we have like a little JST cable and then a ribbon cable as well. And then we have gaskets. Or are they feet? Feet and gaskets, maybe? I'm going to go with gaskets. Let's see how that works out. Okay, let's take a look at the PCB. Do you even want to know how much this thing costs? I don't know. I don't know. It's not cheap. Feet skits. Gaskets. Oh, the PCB is cool, actually. So the PCB is two-tone. So we have a grey top PCB, which is pretty cool. Oh, there's the daughter board. Look, there you go. It's all in one. And then on the back, there we go. You see how it's got the two-tone effect for the Em8 logo all the way through it? That's pretty sweet. This PCB is designed by E. Bastler for Linworks. Hey, E. Bastler's cool. I like him. He's a good guy. Please break free all three PCBs from the holding frame. To do so, gently apply force close to the connection points until they snap. Do not push on the components. Apply force to the bare PCB only. If necessary, insert a 2mm hex key into the holes on the tabs for leverage. There we go. So there's these little tabs here that you can see just there. We just need to break those off. If it's stuck, we can shove something through the hole and twist it and it will pull them off. But we should be okay. I'm pretty sure we'll be alright. Yeah, it was 870-ish. I think you're right about there. I think that was roughly around the price. Plus UK import duties on this one, which would have been a couple of £100. I think shipping was like $90 as well. It wasn't cheap on the shipping side. Okay, and then we need the little daughter board out as well. E. Bastler is really helpful in the Atelier Discord. Is he? Right, okay. So fun fact, he actually designed the switch openers that we give away with switches. They're like the two, it's like in two parts and you clip them together like a jigsaw puzzle. He was the guy that designed those, I think. Okay. Okay, there we go. That's our PCBs ready. Now this is hot swap, which is good. That means we won't take too long. We do have the option of putting 3 LEDs in, so we might do that later on in the build if we've got time later on tonight. We do have 3 options for LEDs here for numpad, caps lock and scroll, so we'll have a look at that. We'll see how that goes. The first thing I want to do though is bob the daughter board in place. So let's pop the PCB to one side. Oh, there we go. As I say, let's flip the case over, but let's take off the top case. Interesting design. Interesting. Okay, so it does magnetize in place. That's cool. There we go. Just going to pop this to one side. Make sure I don't knock it over. And we have the plates and the PCB here. Sorry, the plates in the case here. So we're going to take these out. I think we're just going to need a screwdriver to undo these. Let me grab the screwdriver. I think we need. There we go. It doesn't come with any LEDs. There's no LEDs with it, no. I'm And these are the gaskets. Look at that. Interesting. It does say designed by Syrian. And I haven't watched a build stream on this, so if I do anything wrong, or like looked at a build guide, so if I do anything wrong, please do tell me, guys. The plate looks solid. I mean, yeah, I mean the plate's fairly solid, but it is kind of gasket mounted, as you can see. I think the top alone is heavier than some 65% buds. I would not be surprised by that. There's a lot of foam in this. There's an awful lot of foam in it. We'll take a look at that in a second, though. Let's take the plate out for the other side. What might be slightly painful is getting these all aligned afterwards, but we should be okay. Okay, there's a second plate. I'll take that out. We do have the foams here as well, so this one we can push out the switches from. I'll let you guys vote on whether you'd like to see the foams in the case or not. This one sits underneath, and we can push out places for the stabilizers and for the hot swap sockets. And then this one sits on the bottom. So there we go. That's the 3 pieces of foam. I'll let you guys vote on the foam in a little bit. Now, I am intrigued as to what we do with the magnets, because I'm going to assume that we need to put the magnets in. These screws are not quite tightened up for these ones here. Although it is catching my screwdriver. These are all slightly loose. Not loose, but slightly loose. I think the current sprue implementations on the plastic modules is the cheapest way they could go without adding material to make breakaways would increase the cost to produce. Wait, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about? Keycaps? They need to bring that kind of breakaways in model making. Oh, right, okay, yeah. For injection molding, it's a little bit different. So for these ones, they're like milled out of the sheet, so it's a little bit easier. But I can see why you would want them. Okay, so I'm struggling to see as to what purpose these actually do. I'm assuming it's to hold the case better together. So these are magnets. We've got 2 strips of them. All the same, actually. They're all the same orientation. So I'm going to assume that what we do is we need to put them in these holes. Well, that didn't go so well. And screw them down. Is that what they're for? Oh wait, do we put them in the plate? Okay, I feel like I need a build guide for the Em8. Let's have a look and see if there's a build guide. Let's have a look. KLC. Where's KLC? The top case does attach magnetically, yeah. And that's already got the magnets in each of the 4 corners for that. But there's all of these slots for the rest of it, which I'm not quite sure on. So I'm just going to have a look and see if there's an Em8 build guide. I'm pretty sure I've seen one. Just having a look now. I can't see a build guide. Undergating. I don't know what that is. Unless instead of the cylindrical sprue frames, they flatten it real thin, but enough to keep the model parts in place. So the issue with you do that, you can't get enough fluid, liquid plastic down the veins if you don't have it round. Looks like more work than usual. Yeah, I'm assuming. So the thing is, these magnets have a hole in the center, which is directly decided for a screw. Like, it is literally designed for a screw. But I'm not sure what we're supposed to do with them. Like I can appreciate that they're there. Like the plate's threaded as well. Okay, so here's an interesting fact. Just looking at the plate, there is additional screw holes that look to be threaded. Yeah, so the plate's actually got threaded screw holes in it. So these screw holes here, those are threaded. Interesting. Yeah, they're countersunk magnets, yeah. So, do we put these on the plate? So these are bolts for the neodymium magnets. That's what it says. That's what it says. Let's have a look. So the plate goes this way around. Wait, does it go that way around? Yeah, it goes this way around. So let's, so the plate sits here, like so. So, I'm going to assume that we put one of these magnets in. To the plate, like so. Yeah, okay. So that seems to attach there. And then I think we put one in the same hole to correspond with that. So then I think we put one in here. Like so. Okay, this kind of makes sense now. Let's get all of these magnets installed. I don't think it's maglev. It's more of a resistance thing. So you're pushing them together. It's not really magnetic levitation. I'm just guessing here, but this seems to be the most logical thing, so I'm just going to go with it and see how we get on. There's no instructions, so this has to be how it works in my head. I'm just going to keep going around with these magnets and screws and then do the same on the plates. If it is, it's doing exactly what we tried to do with the lodestone a few years ago. We do have working prototypes of the lodestone, but just Flex and I never got around to looking at it again, so it's kind of on hold, dead at the minute, is that project. It may come back, it may not. Daily Dose of Dave, hey man, thanks for being here. Appreciate you being here. It's not maglev as such. I think it's magnetic resistance. I think that's the better way I would put it. Like, it's still going to sit on gaskets, so it's not maglev at all. It's just using it for additional resistance. Em8 Build Guide, not a written one. Oh, okay. I couldn't find any. Only the above video. You have to put screws with gaskets and magnets on all the holes. Yeah, okay. Screws with gaskets. I didn't get any gaskets. But I do have the... Unless you mean these are the gaskets, which, yeah, they're already in place. Yeah, it's definitely not maglev. That's not what I would call it, because it's using a lot of other stuff. It's more magnetic resistance. It's not going to make things levitate, isn't this? Okay, so we've done what is effectively one side of the board, so I'm just going to pop... I'm just going to do the same on the plate here, and then once I've matched this side up, then we can see if we can do the other side of the board. You can't fast forward on the build guide. It's alright. I think I figured it out. Like, this is the only thing that these could be used for. And there's only one way that this could work, so that's the way we're doing it. And these magnets are going to repel each other, so appreciate you can't see what I'm doing there. I'm just literally popping the screws into the base of the plate here. Look, here you go. So there's just a few more to do on this plate. I haven't tried the new cream soda switches, Dave. I'm not really aware of what they're like or not like, so I couldn't comment on them, I'm afraid. Easy Power, hey man. Was disappointed I couldn't buy the XOX70 from you. Hey man, why couldn't you buy it from me? You should be able to. Tim, see you later, man. Thanks for being here. Well, all of the magnets are identical, so they're going to have to be the same polarity, which means they're going to have to be facing each other, so they're going to be correct. So there's no other way to do this because all of the magnets are identical. They all attract in the same direction. So they're going to have to be. But we're screwing one into the bottom of the plate, so the plate's going to go this way around, you see. And those are screwed down as well, so they are effectively... yeah, so that's bouncing off. Like, it's hard to show you because I don't want to drop it, but that's bouncing off, yeah. Okay, second side and second plate. So we need to flip this over. Yeah, that's it.
Tasty, tasty.
Oh, you can still buy it through the group buy off me. It's just the prototype one you can't buy off me. Yeah. I do have to send the prototype one back. Yes, I don't get to keep the prototype one. The interesting thing about this plate as well is it's not standard plate thickness. This is definitely thicker than normal plates. I think this is 2.5 mil thick instead of 1.5 mil thick. And the reason why I think that is because it's had to have the switch cutouts milled into the base of it. So this is the upside down. This is the bottom of the plate. So the plate actually sits this way around. So you see you've got your standard switch cutouts, and then on the bottom, you can see there's actually bits milled out for the switches to clip into. That's because this plate is thicker. I think it's 2.5 mil thick instead of 1.5, and I assume it's been done like that to accommodate the thickness and the strength of the magnets. 6 months. Thank you so much, Sarah Jimin. Thank you so much for the 6 months of subs. I do appreciate that. And the screws holding down the plate have grommets on them, which I think you already have. Yes, I already have the grommets, yeah. Just checking. Yeah, I do have to do that one. I wasn't sure if this one was a hole designed for the little design there, or if it was something that had to be screwed in. It needs to be thick enough for the threads for the screws. Yes, that's the other reason as well. You're not wrong, Aniki. Yes, 100% right. If it was any thinner, you wouldn't have had enough material to screw these screws into the plate. Like, the plate would have just been too thin, and the screws would not have gripped hold of the plate. There's a lot of design engineering gone into this board, an awful lot. Like, it's clearly well thought out. I am glad it's hot swap now though, because doing a solder build with all of this additional work would have taken a long time. I'm conscious my coffee's going cold as well. Yep, you're doing it right, Jay. I know I'm doing it right. How could I possibly do it wrong? Yeah, I think I figured it out fairly quickly. It's a lot of money's worth of magnets here though. These magnets that you can screw in are not cheap. And there's a lot of them. And this is one hunking great huge piece of metal. So I can kind of understand why the price was so high for it now. Okay, let's get the rest of these screwed in. I'm going to do the ones into the case now. There we go. I know the Windex 98 and the Zoom 65 are EE, but is there any wireless 65% or above board you'd recommend? 65% or above wireless board. I mean, the Zoom's great for budget board. They're really, really good. I think they're like, I can't fault them for what they are. I don't know if the J-Reese is wireless or not. I can't remember the specs. Is that wireless or not? Surprised the price was not more considering the machining involved. Yeah, there's a lot of machining on this. An awful lot, just for the tentedness as well. The fact that it's a tented design. Cannot have been cheap. Yeah, I thought it did have a wireless option, yeah. Icky68 is also kind of 65%. Well, yeah, it's just over 60. It's like a 66 layout, but it's not 660 layout, right? Yeah, we'll have loads of the Aurora R2s in stock soon as well. Quite a few anyway. Yeah, the J-Reese goes into group buy on Tuesday night 4 or 5 p.m. Not decided on the time yet. And then we'll have Iki68 Aurora Round 2 in stock late this week, early next week. Depends on how quickly we get the rest of the orders out. Okay, just 2 more left to go. Looks like we're going to have some spare magnets, which is always good. Wrong hole. That's what she said. Okay. There we go. That's all of the magnets screwed in. So I'm just going to show you that. So you can see each of the holes where a magnet belongs is now magnet screwed in. But you can see what Anarchy said, like this is a solid chunk of aluminium. You can see that there's a lot of machining and milling needed to go in to do all of this. The connector parts here and here. Got the same ones here and here. All of the part for the JST. So this is the JST cable and the daughter board. It goes in upside down. Cool design. I always like it when they're going upside down like that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Right, the other thing we need to do actually now is pop the weight in, because we're not going to be able to do it soon. So let's put the daughter board in first, and then we can pop the weight in. So we're going to pop the daughter board in. We're going to put the JST cable in as well, so we can push it through the little hole. You see how this is going to work. So this is where the daughter board is going to sit, and then the JST is going to go through there. The reason I'm doing this now will become clear in a few minutes. But basically we have to put the weight in before we do too much more. That goes that way. There we go. So we're just going to push that through there. And then we're just going to pop the daughter board into position, just like so. And then we're going to get the little screws for this. Okay, they're hex screws. So let's, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. Okay, let's grab the screwdrivers. Oh no, I got the screws. They're so tiny they fell through my fingers. There's 2. That's the 3rd one, just there. Okay, there should be a 4th one. It's just there. Cool. Right, let's pick the right screwdriver for these. I think we're only going to need something tiny. Not that tiny. Not that tiny either. Perfect. There we go. Okay. So we're going to pop these screws in now. These are really, really small screws. I would have preferred them to be slightly larger. What are you saying, whoa at? Josh? What are you saying, whoa at there? Oh man, these are so small. Like this, that just doesn't want to sit inside it. Is that too big? That's too small. It's like an odd size. It's right in between 2 sizes here. Let's see if a small torch is going to work a little bit better. Okay, that's definitely going to work better. There we go. That's what she said joke from like 5 minutes ago. Oh, right, okay. Sorry. Yeah, that was probably a little bit off of me. A little bit colourful. What are the grooves on the back for? I understand the ones on the front for the wrist rest. I don't know. We'll see when we get to it. Haven't worked that out yet. I know which ones you mean. If you guys are wondering what Anarchy's referring to, I'll show you in a second. Oh, drop the screw. Top is not screwed. There are gaskets on the front and the back to hold the top and the bottom together. Press fit. So the top comes around the back and you put a gasket in there to stick it in. That makes sense. Yeah, so there's these grooves on the back, just here. And we put a gasket in there and a gasket in there. Because the top doesn't screw on, it's just a little bit of rubber to make it a little bit more pressurized in terms of fitment. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so we can see we've got the JST cable coming through. That's all screwed in nicely now. Now it's time to put the weight in place. And the reason we need to put the weight in place now is because the screws for the weight sit here and here and there and there. And if we don't put those in now, we're not going to be able to get to them when we put the plate in place. So the weight has to go in now, basically. So it might be a good idea to do the feet now. So let's do the feet. Not really happy with how that one sat. I'll redo that one towards the end. Okay. And then what we can do is we can put some of these little rubber gaskets in here and here as well. We'll do those now, and then they're done. We don't have to worry about coming back to them. Okay, they sit just proud. And then we're just going to do the same on the front. And these sit just proud of the case, so that they just get a little bit of friction to the top case as the top case is put into position. Okay. There we go. Okay, so that's that done. Let's grab the weight out of the box again. I'm going to have to sit this on my knee to get the space, as I just don't have enough space on the desk at the minute. Oops. Position. There we go. Let's pop the feet in. There we go. We're going to flip this over gently. Okay, that's all aligned up. Let's get the weight bolts in place. Gonna need another screwdriver here. Let's see what size we need for this. Okay, that's an easy one. And then we need to pop the 4 screws in place for this. That's 1. And this will be 2. And this is just going to hold the weight in place. It was crooked, yeah. I need to fix it. The feet are slightly bigger than slightly smaller than the holes. So I need to take that one off and redo it at the end of the build. Yeah, just remind me towards the end, I'll fix that.
Incredible.
Thank you so much, Kevin, for the follow. I appreciate that, man. Okay. So now we have our plates done. These will now... They're now repulsing off of the magnets. That's good. We have everything ready to go. We can start to put the board together, basically. The next thing we need to do is stabilizers, actually. Stabilizers and then switches into the plate. to one side. Spare magnets, spare screws, spare feet. Don't need that bag. Don't need that bag. We will need that JST cable. I'm just going to pop that there. Right, okay. So stabilizers into the PCB then. This is the next job. We've got... How many stabilizers do we need? So we've got the left-hand side there and the right-hand side here. I know the plates are upside down. We've got 1 stabilizer, 2 stabilizer, 3 stabilizer, 4 stabilizer. And let's do split backspace on this, because it supports it, right? Oh, yeah, it has switches upside down, but that's fine for that row. Yeah, let's do split backspace. So we need 4 stabilizers. You flipped it so it's out of sight. Yeah, I'll fix it towards the end. I know. It's just one of the feet's slightly wrong. I'll fix it, don't worry. You don't have the energy to worry. It's fine, don't worry about it. We can fix anything. We can fix anything. We don't need to worry. Okay. These are Owl Lab stabilizers, probably my preferred stabilizers on the market right now. And they're in stock. Get them while you can. Would it be bad if I said I didn't like something I was using on stream? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what we need. That's the prototype, his design motto. Oh no. And that's a reminder, I need to send you details about the next team meeting as well, because we need to have the next team meeting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then we need the housings, sorry, the inserts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There we go. Okay, so now we're ready for our stabilizers. I'm going to take this little packet off the back. Try not to spill everything while I do. Spill it anyway. Such is life. Okay, that can go to one side. Right, let's put the little stickers in place. These are basically like the old Band-Aid mod, but better. If you've ever seen that, these are kind of like replacements for that whole mod. They're just nice little cushions to go underneath the stabilizer housings. They are orientated in a certain way. Might have to get some more L stabs. Yeah, we still have plenty in stock, yeah. Off the top of my head, I don't know Perlin. Like, I know there's some. I have no idea what is included in the next shipment. Off the top of my head, I know EPBT Duo is in there. And I'm expecting to get confirmation on Monday or Tuesday when we can next expect the shipment in. Now, the port authority is on strike from the 28th, and it's due to hit port on the 27th, which I think is Tuesday. So I don't know if the boat's going to get unloaded and everything is going to get shipped to me faster than the strike happening. We'll see. But of course I'll put it on Notion once I have that information. Please make it on a Monday. Okay. We'll see what we can do. Okay, that's one PCB done. Now we've got 2 stabilizers on the next PCB to do as well. Oh, congratulations on getting through the raffle for the Virgo R2. It's a great board, it's a Virgo. No, so we know we had some boxes missing from this shipment, and EPBT 6085 wasn't in the current ones. So we know that the Port Authority have found the boxes. They did ship some of them to us before. I think the rest of them are going to come with the next shipment, basically, is where we left it. So the answer to that question is no, I don't have them on hand yet, but I need to wait for fixed kits anyway, because KVD fans are sending me a fixed kit. So it should all arrive around the same sort of time anyway. Okay, that's those installed. It's now time to put our stabilizers together and loop them up. I'm just going to slide the housings together for now, and then we'll loop the wires as we put them together, and then we'll loop the slider housings and rails once they're fully assembled. Yeah, I think everyone I know who wanted to win a Virgo won a Virgo, so I don't know of anyone who's not won. I don't know of anyone who's got an L for it. Which is good. What's a Virgo? It's kind of like a split Alice style TKL, designed by Flex, who's one of the UK community members, and a generally all-round good guy. I'm not in the Antipodes Discord. Unfortunately, I have to be in other Discords due to vendoring requirements, and you can only be in 100 Discord servers at any one time. So I often have to leave servers to join new ones. So the Antipodes server is one I don't think I'm in. Okay, right. Time to lube up these stabilizer wires. And then we can pop the housings together and get the build really underway. I can't believe we've been building for this for so long now, and we haven't even got the stabilizers in. So we're just lubing up the wire nice and evenly, making sure all sides of it are covered with a good amount of lube. Not too much. It's easy to add more lube later on than it is to take it away. Just always remember that. Whoops. Just like that. I was trying to take that bit away, but we dropped it. Sorry, we'll fix that in a second. And we're going to do the other side of the wire. I'm just lubing up the wires, putting the housings on. Okay. And then we're just going to lube the sides of the rails just really, really lightly. And then we're going to put a small blob of lube right in the back of the stabilizer. I'm going to pop that straight into the board. I'm just going to rescue this little bit of lube off the PCB here. There we go. Don't make too much mess. Okay, that's in place. We can finish that off in a minute. Next wire. Got any suggestions for a vintage board to be used? Any of the old Cherry G80s would be really nice to use, to be honest. Look for an MX model rather than an MY one, but you'll always find that good. Might need a little bit of tuning and tweaking, but yeah, that's what I would recommend. If you want to go vintage Alps, you can do. There's quite a few boards out there. Bear in mind that some boards need a PS2 converter, some older ones will need a DIN converter, or there's all sorts of different converters out there for some vintage boards. Depends on what you need, really. Model M's are good as well. Try Model M. Really depends on what you want to use. Yeah, I remember when keyboards and mice used PS2. I remember before the days of USB. In fact, I remember the early days of USB when no one got a USB mouse, everyone still preferred PS2. Okay, so that's one PCB's worth of stabilizers done. Let's get these fully screwed into the board before we progress. Not sure we'll be able to tip this over without taking the stabilizers out though. Let's see. I think we needed more screwdrivers for this build than any other build in recent memory, actually. Just screwing the stabilizer in from underneath. Remember, when screwing stabilizers in, guys, you don't want to go too tight. You're not trying to crush the PCB, you're just trying to hold it firmly in place. So go until it's tight, and then like finger tight, and then do a quarter turn more. That's all you need to do. Again, just screwing it in gently from the underside. Using one finger to hold down the stabilizer, screwing it in gently from the underside. I remember 15-pin serial for a mouse. I'm literally that old. Yeah, I'm not far behind you, man.
Incredible.
Thank you, Incredible. That's lovely. Thank you, GTC, for the follow. I appreciate that, man. Okay, last screw for this stabilizer. I'll do this one the right way up so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm just holding the screw with my finger, popping it into the hole, twisting the screwdriver, pushing down on the stabilizer from the top with one finger. And there we go. That's that side done. So now we can pop that down, pop the plate on top, make sure everything aligns up nicely. That side's done. Right, on to the next side, which means back to looping. Yeah, I couldn't live without the MX Master 3 as a productivity mouse. Like, I do so many different things in spreadsheets and things like that, I need a productivity mouse. Like, I can't cope with just a gaming mouse or anything like that. I need additional buttons and side scrolling and a freewheeling, all those kind of things. I just wouldn't be able to do my daily job without it very easily. Efficiency is key, right? Okay. I used to work with a lady who still raved over a trackball roller. Hey, some people still use those in, like in my old job. I used to have loads of people that demanded that kind of thing to use in their daily work settings, that was quite common. Let's screw this one in before we go any further. Use your keyboard as a mouse plank. That's fair. I couldn't do that. I'm not an advanced enough user to be able to do that, but I can appreciate that some people can, and it works out well for them. So vertical mice are also popular in offices. Yeah, vertical mice are really popular. Okay, one more stabilizer to go, and then we're ready for some switches. Which reminds me, guys, do you want to see this build with foam or not? I'm going to put the internal case foam in anyway, the one that sits right at the very bottom. But would you like to see the rest of the build with foams in or not? I feel like it should have them in. I feel like it was designed for them. But yeah, should we do a poll? Aeneas, can you set up a poll? Let me see if I can set you up so you can make a poll. Wait, how on earth do you not have mod on here? I mean, Josh, how on earth do you not have mod? Right, remind me of the command for it. What's the command for it? I can't remember. This is my personal keyboard, yeah. How to make someone a mod on Twitch. /mod username. Okay, there we go. Right, okay. /mod space. Wait, /mod. Okay. /mod. Yeah. There you go. Okay, you guys should both have mod now, if that worked. You guys should both have mod now. So, Josh, if you want to set up a poll. And we just have it for foam or no foam, and you guys can decide whether we put foam in it or not. I will put the most basic layer of foam in the bottom of the case, just because I think it might need it, and I don't want it to bottom out inside the case and have issues with shorting and stuff. So you should be able to go to the mod part of Twitch and do a poll. Let's see if you can do it, if you can figure out how to do it before I finish lubing and installing the stabilizer. Kajahata, hey man, good to see you. Yeah, this is an Em8. This is a huge chunk of a build. Okay, less stabilizer. Whoops. Well, it would help if I didn't drop the screws, right? That's probably giving him a little bit of a reprieve. I think that went on the floor. We'll go with that one on the floor. Baptism by fire. / poll command or anything. I don't know. I've never tried it like that. I use the menu whenever I set them up, so I don't know if there's actually another way to do it. There we go. This is literally all new to me. Is the texture of the Olivia zooms the same as the EE versions? No, I don't believe it's exactly the same. I think it's slightly different. It's not quite as rough on the EE versions. It's a little bit rougher on the Olivia ones, I think. I think the process is the same, but it's slightly more refined now. Okay. Right, okay, I'm here. I will rescue you, Josh. I'll do the poll. Okay. So I do it in the actual Twitch backend. Manage poll. New poll. Foams. Yes and no. So you've got a basic choice, right? I'm going to put the bottommost foam in anyway. The poll should be live now, so you'll be able to have a look at that, guys. Right, where did I put the lid for this? So, you have a choice, guys. We can either put all of the foams in or just the base foam. So no selects just the basic foam, and yes means we'll put all of the foams in. So, let's see what you guys come up with. I'll show you guys what I mean by the foams in a second. So, this is how it's all going to be layered together. Let me show you. I can show you exactly how it could be layered together now. Which way around does this go? That way around. There we go. So, we have the very, very basic bottom foam, which sits in here. That is going to happen whether you guys want it to or not. We're definitely going to have that piece in place. Just going to take out the little bit for the JST cable. That's going to be in place, definitely. The question then is, do you want the foam that goes underneath the PCB and plate? Because that's what this one does. So that one sits underneath the PCB and plate. Then we'd have the PCB resting on top of that. And then we'd have this one, which goes in between the PCB and plate. And you'd have the plate on top. So, yes means it'd be like this, it'd be all sandwiched together. No means we're just going to build it like that, basically. So that's the choices you've got, guys. 2 choices. Let's see what you come up with. At least you won't put in the hot seat. Nothing wrong with the hot seat. I think the poll says no. It says no so far. Wait, have I voted yet? No. Okay. Right, I'm going to vote in a second. That's a lot of poking at holes. It is, but like, if that's what you guys want to see, that's what we'll do. I do feel like we probably should build it with the foams. Like, I know it's hot swap, so we can change this around later on if I need to, but I do feel like it probably should have the foams. I also feel like this middle bit needs to come out. Otherwise, why would they have cut it like that? I feel like that shouldn't be in. Because where's the JST? That's where the JST connectors are going to be, look. So all of that needs to come out anyway. There we go. You have plenty of points. Well, let's see how people vote. Don't pick at it. Hey, it's fine. Like, I'm just plucking out the bits that aren't supposed to be there. It's fine. It's exactly what I'm supposed to do. I think you're right. I think the foams are not going to win. So I'm going to prepare to not use the foams for now. You watch now. I've put them to one side. Someone's going to tweak the vote and it's going to win. Right, okay. Let's get everything set up then. There we go. Switches at the ready. Have to go now. Might be able to catch the end still. If not, thanks for the stream. Thanks, Snicket. Thanks for being here, man. I appreciate that, whether you get back or not. You figured it out. Oh, we're worried. You can do the one for the key set at the end then, Josh. Now we have something to play with if we rebuild. Sure. Well, there's not long left. Do you know what? I'm going to start putting this together because I don't see the foams coming back and winning here. So I'm going to take the risk. Oops. Did we bend the pin then? Yeah, we did. How weird. GMK Birch is going to win. Don't forget to add origami at the poll. Oh, yeah, remind me when I do the poll for that, and then I can go get a set of origami out. Now you actually have to pay attention to the key sets. Yeah, Whoa, wait a minute. I'm starting to put switches in, and the foams are coming back. The foams are coming back big and strong. Can you see it's warm in here? Like, it's really warm in the office. Like, when the 3D printers are going, it gets really warm in here. Yeah, I've seen Han Solo. Yeah, I've stopped. You guys are voting for the foams? Oh no. Sorry, Jay. Nothing to apologize for, man. Unless you wanted to see like the foams be done. Let's take these switches out. Okay. There we go. Oh my god. All right. Okay. Do I have a coin or something I can flip? No. Okay. Where's my phone? Right. Okay. We're gonna use Siri and we're gonna say heads or tails. And heads is gonna be use foams. Tails is gonna be no foams. Hey Siri, flip a coin. Oh, hold on. Did that come out loud? Let's do the best of 3. It was tails. There you go. If it focuses. Tails. Let's do best of 3.
It's heads.
Heads for the second one.
It's tails this time.
Tails was no foam. There we go. No foam. I did vote. Yeah, I did vote. Okay, so we flipped it. Eventually, the coin said after the flips that it was no foams. So let's build with no foams. There we go. Siri did good for once. I mean, if we feel like it's wrong and we feel like it'd sound better with foams, we can always rebuild it that way. There's nothing to stop that happening. Siri rigged. For sure, man. For sure. Someone was hacking my phone just to rig Siri. Of that you can be certain. Usually they say when the foam is a hard requirement. Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily required. Like obviously it's not like, you know, there are options here. We can either use it or not. But I do feel like sometimes, even if that's the case, like sometimes boards are designed with it in mind. Okay, we're gonna have to flip one switch here because I want to use step caps because step caps is best. Oh wait, no, I'm wrong. Like full caps uses the upside down one, so step caps has the correct orientation. That's good. It's me reading that wrong. There we go. That is good. Okay. Okay, this is taking slightly longer to build than I thought it would. I thought we'd be done for 10 o'clock tonight because it was hot swap. No, I was way wrong. I was way wrong. Sometimes the most obvious things are the hardest things to work out. Yeah, like trying to read back your own code when you've written something and it's been like 3 weeks. Excellent. I got the Dolice coloured Dolice, which was the Friends and Family colourway. You were under a lot of pressure. Yeah, I get that, man. I get that. Okay, that's one side done. Time to do the other side. Just gonna get the first switch lined up. That will help us line up the rest of them. There we go. Have you thought about how you're going to build it? The Dolice? No, not yet. I haven't thought about it yet. It's something I'll consider during the week because it's going to be next Sunday when I get a chance to build it. So it'll be a week today. So yeah, I haven't thought about it yet. I did unbox it earlier on, showed people what the board looks like, but I don't know how I'm going to build it. I do have some nice Vint blacks that I might use for it. We'll see. We shall see. With his hands and a soldering iron. Yeah. Okay. Oh, it should be back on the other camera. Why am I on this camera? There we go. You guys can actually see what I'm doing now. Oh. That did feel weird. I don't want to use that switch. No, he's not lightning. That's his aura. Diego's not in the chat right now. Just to add to the dad jokes. Why does that not want to go in? There we go. Adam, hey man. Hope everything went well with your evening. Okay. What did you study in the Bible today, Adam? I'm genuinely interested in this. Genuinely interested. I do love a good dad joke. Every time my wife says I'm something, or like she might say I'm tired, I go hi tired. I'm Jay. And I mean literally every time. Like I constantly get with it. My brother's adopted children as well. I get them with it all the time. They hate it and they love it at the same time. They don't know how to react to it sometimes. But I get it all the time. They go, I'm hungry. I go, hi hungry. I'm Jay. We looked at the triumphal entry in Luke when Jesus arrived in Jerusalem on a donkey. Interesting. So I don't know much about the Bible, I'll be honest. Whilst I did used to go to Sunday school as a kid, I have largely forgotten a lot of it. I do vaguely remember Jesus going to Jerusalem though. I don't know if Jay can associate me with the random guy at the end of the meetup. Yeah, I think he came and shook my hand right at the end. Yeah, I do remember. Like a dark greenish t-shirt, I want to say. But the lighting in there was terrible, so it could have been any colour. But I think it was like a dark green. We're going to split, so we're going to have to put these two switches in upside down. So north facing instead of south facing. There we go. Crikey, you have a good memory. Black holding a bright green cap. I knew there was something green about it. Okay. I don't know why I imagined the reason behind Palm Sunday from it. Oh, man. I knew there was something green. I knew there was. Sort of like in my head, it was like you'd said hi. It was green. I didn't know. I was trying to go for it. I do vaguely remember. Like I'm not sure I could picture you in a crowd or like pick you out of a crowd, but like I'd recognize you if you came and said hello. I think. It's one of the few events found in all 4 gospel accounts. Its importance in Luke is interesting since it marks the transitions from Jesus telling people to keep quiet about him to allowing them to celebrate him as a king. Interesting. Okay. Right, okay, so now we've done all the hard work and we've got the board built. It's time to screw it together. So for this we need to do a few little bits and pieces. The first thing we need to do is put the JST connector that connects the 2 boards together. So this is a larger ribbon style cable. So we're just going to pop that in one side and then in the other. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pop that side just roughly in the right place. It doesn't have to go exactly in the right place. We're going to take the JST cable for the actual power and the USB connection, and we're going to plug that into place. And then we're going to interesting. How do we get this to lay flat now? I don't want to like mess the cables up, but I'm not quite sure how we're supposed to get that to sit nice and level. Interesting. Okay, let's put one side down. The magnets are being really funky with this. Okay, so that sits like that. Let's get some of these pieces in, and let's screw this down. So these are like the top gaskets that we have to screw in. Okay, I feel like I've probably over tightened these, so I'm just going to slacken them off a little bit. I don't want to be going so tight that it affects the rubber shape of them. There we go, that feels a bit better. Okay. There we go. I'm really not sure how we get the plate and PCB assembly for this side to sit nice and flush though. There we go. Okay. Because that JST connector, it's just going to want to not lay flat, right? Oh, okay, maybe that was easier than I thought. Maybe that was easier than I thought it was going to be. Although I do feel like I'm having to fight this case to get it to assemble. Okay, that was easier than I thought in the end. I did think it was going to be quite difficult to do, but it was easier than I thought. Okay, so there is some movement in the plate. Let me show you that. Oh gosh, that's heavy. So there is some movement in the plate. The plate will move up and down. I wouldn't really say it's maglev, but it is kind of gasketed into position, so it's kind of nice. It's interesting. I'm pretty sure we're not supposed to screw it in so it's flush. I think it's supposed to have like a little bit of bounce to it. There we go. Glad this doesn't actually use a ribbon cable. It's moving around funny. Yeah, like it's not ideal, but it works, so we'll go with that. Do I use many tinted boards? No, I have a couple, but not many. I reminded to try and get one of the gaskets to sit in the J1. Have you tried Pritstick yet? Yeah, Pritstick is exactly how I get the gaskets to line up in the J1. That was last year, wasn't it? Yeah. My J1 have no assembly issues from what I can remember. I hope you're doing well. Hammer Brother, hey man, good to see you, dude. Hope you're doing well, man. Thank you very much for being here. I got a busy day today. The Switch is ready though. Nice. Okay, cool. Right. So there we go. So that's the board ready to put together. You can see we've got the weight in place as well, so it does stick out nicely. These bits are to hold the top case in place, just to add a little bit of friction. So let's grab the top case and pop that on. And this is just held on by magnets, which is cool. If we can get it to slide on. There we go. Whew. There we go. My gosh, this is a chunker. So the case doesn't actually screw together, it's just held in place by the magnets. But this is the board built. My god, is this heavy. This is super heavy. I need to fix this foot. I know it's gone in a bit wonky. In fact, let's do that now. Let's do that now. Need to pull out the old sticky from the foot. So it's going to take a hot minute. There we go, all fixed. So that's the board all now nicely put together. Next job is to test it. So let's get Switch Hitter up and give this a try, see if it works. I'm hoping it does. Right, can you guys see Switch Hitter? Nope. Let's. Is that gonna bring it up? Yeah, there we go. Okay, let's plug this in and give it a try. Well, we get the connection noise. Let's see what we've got. Page up, page down isn't working. That's working. Okay, let's try the rest of the keys. They might be set to layers or something. That should be an FN key. Not registering. Okay. Both of those are set as backspace. We have it in set and delete. Okay, it looks like everything's working apart from these keys. I wonder if these are on layers. Doesn't appear to be. Doesn't appear to be. Okay, let's pop those switches out and see if we bent pins. Yes, that's got a bent pin. And that one's got a bent pin. So that explains those two. Let's fix those. I think we're just going to do first come, first served. There we go, that's now working. And that's now working. Right, okay, so what else didn't work? This one here. Let's see if this is a bent pin as well. No, okay, so that must be an FN key. And it's just not working, it's just not linked to anything yet. We'll figure that out. Okay, so that must be an FN key, but it's just not linked to anything yet. Okay, perfect. Right, okay, so that's the board all nicely built and put together. Let's hide switch hitter, because the next thing is to pick some keycaps for it. So, in fact, actually, the next thing to do is get the weight out, right? Let's get the weight ready for this. Where did I put the weight? Ah, here. Okay, this is where I find out that I did need all of those feet. Okay, so we've got screw holes that come through, but with no screws. Is this to hold these in place? Or do these just sit in? Let's have a look. These are carbon fiber pieces that acts as the wrist rest. These are polished, these are nice. That one goes in. Oh, nice, they just flush fit in, that's nice. I do like that, that's a really nice touch. Let's see if we can get this part as well. Missed out the cloud line, which went in seconds. Yeah. Is this a chunk of the board without a weight already? Yeah, this board is super heavy. Like, those are really nice. Look how nice those are. I do love a bit of carbon fiber, glossy carbon fiber at that as well. They're just pressure fit, and the reason that these holes are here is so that you can push them out. So if you wanted to remove them, you can just push it through, which is kind of nice. I like that. Right, let's get the feet put in first. Oof, they're lovely. They're really nice. Yeah, like oftentimes I struggle to get back to people purely because my DMs are so flooded. So I do apologize about that, Josh. I do apologize about it. Like, I do try and focus on like the PT channels that you're a member of. So yeah, okay. So the one that we took out, we're gonna have to replace. I'm just gonna have to make one, I think. We're just going to put the outside ones on here for now, because we are one short. That's my own fault. I'll have to fix the one that I had to take off the base and reapply some sticky to it, which is doable. Oops, that's the bit of carbon fiber falling out. There we go. So there we go. That is the board, and that is how it all sits together. Look at that. Man, that's a chunky board. It's super chunky. I have no words for how chunky this is. Like, even the wrist rest alone must weigh 2 kilograms. Let's see if I can get some scales out. Let's give this a
Incredible.
Incredible. Thank you so much, Jibanek. Thank you so much. Right, let's weigh the weight alone first. Let's move this back. Try and create some space here. Let's get this turned on. So, this is just the weight in grams. And in grams, that is 2.44 kilograms, which in pounds is 5 pounds 6 ounces. The weight alone is 5 pounds 6 ounces. The board is 10 pounds 14 ounces, so 11 pounds. The board is 11 pounds, which in grams is 4.93 kilograms. 4.93 kilos plus the weight. I don't want to rest that on top of there actually. Plus the weight. So there, 4.93 kilograms plus the weight, which was 2.43, 4.39 plus 2.43. There you go. This is a silly heavy board. It's actually too heavy. It's ridiculous. Like, it might as well be 5 kilograms. and 2.5 kilograms. So you're talking 7.5 kilograms in total. But it ain't moving on your desk. Once it's in, it's not moving around. That's the thing. This isn't a weight. This is the wrist rest. The rest is more than the Link 65. I don't mean to call it a weight. It just is a weight. Like, I don't mean to call it a weight. It just is a weight. Like, the wrist rest is just chunky. Like, it is just so chunky. The weight is on the back of here. The stainless steel weight's on the back of there. But I do keep calling this a weight. I apologize if I do. Like, it just is a weight. Like, it's just so heavy. Like, you could use that as just like a like a desk weight if you needed to, like a paperweight, because it's just so heavy. Great board to use a tablet in Starbucks. If you send me a video of you using it in a Starbucks with like an iPad or something to it, I will send you a t-shirt for free, because that's how much I don't think anyone will do it. This is super chunky. Right, okay, keycap time. So I do have a few choices for keycaps for you to pick from. Josh is going to set up a poll for this. You put that on top of your wrist. Yeah, so you don't rest your wrist on top of the wrist rest. You put the wrist rest on. The wrist rests on top of your wrists. Yeah. Yeah. Please put on the desk for Mel. She won't move it. I'm not sure she could carry it. I'm not sure she could carry it. It is heavier than the Mont 7. Yeah, the Mont 7's a chunky book as well, but this is heavy. Right, okay. So, here's your choices. We have GMK Birch, unopened, brand new, unsealed. That's option 1, because it's kind of like the sandstone color. I thought that might go quite well. We have an Out There set, which is GMK Taro. If you guys think that will go with it, you can select GMK Taro. I have another safe set that's beige, but doesn't have space bars, so I'm not sure how we're going to do that. Which is GMK Retro Arabic. Or finally, again, just something a little bit different, not playing it safe, we have GMK Lux. So GMK Lux, GMK Retro Arabic, GMK Taro, or GMK Birch. Those are the 4 choices. With Birch, I do have the 40s kit with the split space bars, and also the spacebar kit with the split base bars, so we could use the proper space bars if you select GMK Birch. But those are the 4 choices. If Birch doesn't win, could you open it up anyway? I mean, I can show you exactly what it looks like, because this is the colours here. The only kit I didn't buy from GMK Birch myself was the novelties, so I don't have those to hand. Oh, and origami. So the other one I can go get is EPBT origami, Josh. So if you want to just cancel that poll, end that poll, and restart another one, and put EPBT origami in there, and I could go grab that. Just end the poll really quickly and then start another one up. I don't think you can edit the poll in flight. But I can go grab a set of EPBT origami if it wins, because it's in the workshop and I have to go and dig it out. So only if it wins. Okay. Why is everyone waiting until I'm streaming to DM me and email me? Like, I had my DMs down to 47. It's now up to 82 since we started streaming. Why do people wait until I'm streaming? I don't know. Oh man. My DMs have just gone nuts. I don't know what's going on. Can we refund Adam 20,000 points? You spent all of your channel points? Oops. I'm sorry, not sorry. It's just one of those things. Right, okay. Gonna be an expensive month. It is. Spellcheck doesn't like your name. Yeah. Adquam. There we go. Coffee check. We've run out of coffee for the stream today. It is a brew from North Berwick in the UK. But we've run out of coffee for today. There's none left on stream. 10 minutes, lots of time to read. What? We don't need it for 10 minutes. 10 minutes is a hugely long one. Okay. but let's see what you guys come up with. So just to remind you, this is what the key set looks like. This is GMK Lux. It's black and yellow. It's basically vintage Batman colors, if you like that kind of thing. I picked this because I thought it matched the switches because they're yellow and black. We have GMK Retro Arabic, which is like an OG base color. Sorry, beige color, not base color, beige color. And it has Arabic sub-legends in red, which is lovely. It's one of my favorite sets of all time. We also have GMK Taro if you want to see something a little bit more bright and vibrant, which is all purples and stuff like that. And then finally, we have the newest key set that we've had in from GMK, which is GMK Birch. Yeah, so we have all of that, which would match the sandstone color quite nicely as well. Adam is fine. I've been doxed that much by Jay himself. Hey, everyone knows my name, Jay. You know, like, it's fine.
Incredible.
One Dark Var, thank you so much for the follow, man. I appreciate that. Base color. Beige is best, right? Like, I have beige on like every keyboard. Mel hates it. I think she doesn't like beige. That's 2 different accents. Nice. Did I use 2 different accents? Sorry. I try not to. It's okay. Everyone knows I'm Josh now. Yeah, that's just my job, is to just like dox people. Like, yeah, just to dox people. Exirius is dead. Their real name's Tony. I don't know. I'm making that up, but you know, let's just go with that. Tony. Zora, also called Tony. Trojam, real name is Tony. Yeah, everyone's just called Tony. Oh, 20k points is 2 accent changes. Yeah, so I change it from one to another and then back. That's the second one. Yeah, so just back to normal, right? The Doxer. Voidmain, he's called Tony as well. Birch and Origami having a fight of the century. I'm not even watching this, really. Oh, wow, yeah, they are. I'm going to chuck my vote in towards the end. Demon Zenki, who asked for the coffee check, they're also called Tony as well. Just so you know. Wow, they literally are neck and neck. GMK Birch and Origami, 19 votes each. 10 minutes is long. I don't know why you did it for 10 minutes. Like, that's way too long. You can literally Google me, easy stocks. Yeah, Tony Zizora, that's his real name. There you go. How do you know, Jay? I just know everyone's name is Tony. That's the thing. I'm trying to read it, but keep refresh, Adam, refresh. GMK Taro has 0 votes so far. Well, it's purple on a beige board. It ain't gonna go. So I didn't think anyone would vote for that. I did think Lux and Arabic could get more votes, though. Arabic is literally one of my favorite sets of all time, so I thought that would get some votes. Tony, or Tony. The first one. Let's go with the first one. Tony with an I. We got a nice Q&A session for 10 minutes. Yeah, sure. Right, okay. Well, while the vote's running, ask me anything you like. Whatever questions you put into chat, I will answer. So ask any question you would like. I'll be completely open and honest with you about any topic whatsoever. You've got until the timer runs out to get your questions in. Just tag me at JPrototypist, and I will answer any question you ask about any topic you ask about. I might not answer with the right answer, but I'll be open and honest if I don't know what the right answer is. So ask me anything you'd like, guys. Just tag me with at JPrototypist, and you've got until the timer runs out. Yeah, I didn't have a Q&A with the Switch part because you didn't solder. Yeah, there was no soldering today. So yeah, Q&A, guys. Ask away. What do you want to know about me? Or about anything. Like, this is when no one asks any questions. No spacebars though. None of them have split spacebars apart from Birch. Birch is the only one that has split spacebars. Why is there so much hype around the TGR boards? A couple of reasons. Good design. So it's like full of good design language. Sam is a bit of a legend. So Yutzi, who runs TGR, is a bit of a legend in the hobby. He's designed some great products over time. And lack of availability. People want what they struggle to get. Like, there's so few of his boards out there. And I think that's a shame. Like, everyone's sleeping on the Tomo. The Tomo is an absolute banger for the price. It's a TGR board for that price. It's nuts. Like, but that's what it is. It's just literally demand versus availability, and that results in the price going up and the hype going up. I'm not saying it's not justified, because I genuinely love all of the Janes that I own and have owned. The Tomo is a great board. I'm looking forward to trying to get one tomorrow in the raffle with Monarchy. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Did I manage to take some time off this weekend? I haven't had a full day off, but Saturday I did take the dog out for a long walk in the morning, and we went out for breakfast as well, which is quite nice. So I had like 6 or 7 hours with just me and the wife and the dog, which was lovely. So yeah, I did have some time off. Would it be best for me to order a Ginkgo 65 now to make sure I get the one I want, and then try and get GMK Civilizations on Tuesday and pay postage twice, or just wait and buy both at once? Matt, I think my recommendation would just be to buy them as you can. The reason I say that is because with the exchange rates going down, the price on the Ginkgos might have to change. I know they're in stock, but it might have to change because the way that we paid the invoices, it's made me question whether they're actually for sale at a profitable margin at the minute. So if you want to buy one, I will probably buy one now, just in case. And we only have a handful of them left. Like, there's only single figures of each color left, I think. So yeah. See, there is method to your madness. Sure, man. Yeah, I appreciate that, Josh. How big is the Lego unbuilt Lego list? Okay, so I need to finish off the Millennium Falcon, which has been going for nearly 18 months now. I need to finish that off. I do have plans for streams for that in the coming weeks. As soon as I've got the office sorted out and this shipment's gone, then I'm going to start doing some streams for that. So that will go. I then have the Saturn V rocket. I have the Death Star. I have the Space Shuttle. I have the Batwing. I have the Tumbler. I have the larger of the Ecto-1. I think that's it. I think that's all I've got. Maybe there's a couple more. Oh no, I've got the International Space Station. I think that's it. Quite a few. Might have missed an answer, but do desk mats always arrive before the keycap sets in group buy? 90% of the time, yes. There is a few 10% of the time where no, it doesn't, and the desk mats come afterwards. A good example of that would be Sensilo. We got the desk mats after the key set, I think. So yeah. I really like my Tomo. Really nice blue. The Tomos are underrated. Like, people are sleeping on the Tomos, and I don't know why, because they're really good. Would get the Tomo over the new Jane, to be fair. Not because it's 75, but because of the weight. It's fair, yeah. Sounds great. Glad you took some time. Yeah, the breakfast was lovely. It's a little place around near from me called Northern Kitchen. In fact, I tell you what, Adam, if you come to the PT Open Day in November and you stay up here overnight, I will take you for breakfast on the day after. Thoughts on being the lead vendor for a GMK IC group buy? It's fine. I've done it a few times. GMK Bleach was our first. We've also done it for Hig and Barner and others. It means a little bit more work in the back end, but it's often worthwhile doing, and it gives you cool access. We did Zooted as well. So it's just another aspect of the group buys. Sometimes other people do it for you. Sometimes you do it for other people. It's fine. There's no difference anywhere. Do you have a small scale model of your Z that you display somewhere? I do. I have one in the workshop. A guy sent me a keyboard to build about 2 years ago when we first moved into the workshop here, and I think I charged him for the build as normal, and afterwards he was so happy with it that he sent me a little scale model of the Datsun. The Datsun's actually here in the workshop as well. It's literally through that wall right now. You can see it on the picture here, like crashed through it on the wall there. But my orange Datsun is in the workshop right now because it broke down the other day, but that's what it is. And yeah, I do have a little model of it as well in the workshop. Yeah. The Batman tumbler, missed out on that. Yeah, my wife was nice enough to pick that up for me. I love a Tomo or a Ginkgo. Not sure which to go for. Depends on whether you want a 75 or 65, I guess. Depends on which you prefer. Is there another open day? Yeah, we're going to do another open day in November. Currently, I think it's going to be the last weekend in November, and Mel and I are going to be sitting down to plan it tomorrow on Monday. The only problem I have with Tomo is that the plate foam should have been cut to fit O-ring mount. I think why other people slept on Tomo is because 75% is probably the least popular layout. That's probably not a... You're probably quite right, Epsilon. I disagree on the foam. I don't really like using foam, so I think it's fine to not have that. GMK Birch has won. Yay! I think it's fine to not have that for the O-ring mount, because most people who are going to want to do the O-ring mount are probably not going to be people who enjoy foam anyway. So I think that's fine. And you can always trim the foam down yourself if you need to. I'm not 100% convinced that that's a fair argument. But feel free to convince me. 50 equals 60%. Sure, right? Okay. Oh, I see what you mean. 50, 60. You typed 50 instead of 60 in your previous bit. I get you. Yeah, I think 75% is probably the less liked of those, but I think that's a bit unfair on it because it is quite nice at 75%. Trojan really wanted the birch. 12k channel points. Nice, nice. Our battle was legendary. There you go. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. Could have got Jay to do in a Jamaican accent. Beer can, right? Beer can. That's about as far as I can do a Jamaican accent. Okay, right. So you guys picked GMK Birch. So let's open the key set and put GMK Birch on the board. Not cutting the foam is personal bugbear. That's fair. Okay, yeah. I can appreciate that on a personal level, yeah. Sounds exactly like my father. Oh, is your father Jamaican? Nice. I've never been to Jamaica. I've always wanted to go though. Well, out you come. This is GMK Birch unboxing. That's kind of impromptu. There we go. This is what GMK Birch looks like in real life. It's nice. I like the colours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, 1, 2, backspace. Yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure that there was a key there, not the one. Okay, so we're going to have to go full ANSI on this, so we may as well just use the ANSI bits here. I'm going to use page up and page down there. I haven't decided what I want here yet. You just really want to see it on a board? That's fair, man. I get that. I got the Rama for Birch. Eventually wanted a macro pad to order another whiskey. Nice. Looks really clean. I like it. The alphas are lovely. I'm not a huge fan of the mod color, but I really, really do like the alpha color with the blue. I think that's really nice. Sadly didn't include UK.
Incredible.
So yeah, it didn't. It's one of those things though. The novelties are one thing I didn't buy for it personally. I just bought the base set, the space bars and the 40s kit. Mainly bought the 40s kit because I don't really use many 40s kits and I don't have many in the collection, so it's always nice to have a set with them. Wonder how much adding the base kit to UK Acid base kit is. It depends on the set. It can be anywhere from a few dollars to a few pounds. Well, like it's in euros, so it's difficult to say, but it's probably going to add something like for basic ISO €4, for full ISO